Daniel Lambert's my name. I look after a lot of the strategic planning for Bohemian Football Club.
Okay. And they're called Bohemians, I see in the People's Club.
Mm-hmm.
Can you explain that, please?
Yeah, basically, I suppose soccer has been, in recent years, like football or soccer has been associated with owners, individuals, corporations, and Bohs is the complete opposite of that. It's for 127, nearly 128 years. We've been owned by a couple of hundred ordinary men and women in Dublin. So it's the People's Club in the true sense. Someone like Everton used the phrase when it actually doesn't hold true. The club is literally owned by ordinary people, and it's ran for their enjoyment and to be passed on to another group of people.
In what ways have the club reached out to the ordinary people in the...
Oh, we do a whole litany of things. You may have seen earlier this week we were selected, 12 League of Ireland clubs applied for a youth funding, a project called More Than a Club, and that was a reflection on how good clubs were integrating into the local community. Ourselves in Cork were selected, yesterday it was announced. We do walking football with mentally challenged people, with walking football with older people. We do a programme in Mountjoy Prison to try and help people refrain from reoffending when they emerge from prison. There's actually a group, our club presidents over in a prison in the Netherlands right now, tonight.
Wow.
A group of ex-prisoners in Mountjoy are playing with a group of Bohs players over there. And we do, I think, a whole range of things. We have a project for school completion. And
so what about yourself? How long have you been supporting Bohs?
I was brought since I was a baby, so 30 years.
So you had no choice then?
No choice at all, yeah.
Best season all those years?
For me, actually, the best season was probably last season. The years as a fan, I suppose I was unusual in that I was on the board for a lot of the years that we had severe trouble, and I actually realised in retrospect that the Fenland years and other years where we won a lot of trophies behind the scenes were the worst years the club ever had. And I'd hand them all back if I could, and not have almost destroyed the club. I think that last year there was a real sense of togetherness. Dalymount was saved. We had a group of honest players on the pitch, and we didn't win anything, but for me the feeling around the club was better than it's ever been.
So it was that serious then, was it really?
Absolutely, yeah. The club blew a serious amount of money in a very short space of time for trophies that really don't mean anything. You know, if you talk about preserving your club for the pass down, that was put in severe jeopardy for trophies over a very short space of time.
So then I guess the general consensus, Keith Long is doing a good job.
Amazing job, yeah. And it's been easy. In fairness to Keith, he's doing a great job, and I suppose for Keith, he's come to Bohs at a time when everyone is fully aware of the situation and what we're trying to do, and he's been given an awful lot of leeway that perhaps other managers weren't in the past, and that's a good thing. You know, people are realistic about where we are, what our budget is, and they know that we're not going to win the league. When you put a group of players on the pitch like Keith has that just have effort and honesty about them, it's hard not to applaud them. You know.
So this season so far, it's what, more or less mid-table. You're safe, aren't you?
I think we're more or less safe. Yeah, it'd be nice to win tonight. You know, Pat's were one of the clubs that wanted to. Well, Pat's wanted to go to the 10-team league, so I'd love to see Pats go down. To be honest,
I wanted.
Yeah, we weren't in favour of it, obviously. So I hope we win tonight. I think we'll finish mid-table.
You're a cult hero of the club then, on those years.
Tony O'Connell.
For what reason then?
Well, he built the Jody stand. He's the honorary life president. Played for the club, and he stuck around. Tony will be here tonight, and Tony. In those years when we were stuck for money, the first person up to write a cheque or to try and get people together was Tony, and that's a man in his late 70s, so fair play to him.
So tonight's game then, St. Pat's, should be a good game, but really
I'd say both teams to score.
Teams.
Yeah, normally I think so. I think it'd be 1-1 or 2-1 either way. I think Pats normally come to Dalymount looking not to concede firstly. They can't do that tonight. Our home form's been atrocious, so I think both teams will score, and then a 2-1, 2-2 or 1-0.
And players to look out for, maybe that general fan is on the radar.
For us, food. So, I mean, like, food will be going to England by the looks of things. He's a phenomenal player. He came from Pats under 19s, came into us, and he's
going to score that tonight.
I think he's been our best player, you know. So and of course Wardy after the hat trick up in Drogheda. So
okay. On the atmosphere tonight, what should we expect?
The atmosphere will be good. Like, you know, Dalymount's difficult in that you know, we're fully aware the ground has two sides realistically. You know, so you're creating noise on two sides, which isn't ideal. Bohs and Pats, it's one of the better atmospheres. I think they'll be pleasantly surprised. Obviously, us and Rovers isn't comparable to any other game we play. So this ranks up there with one of the better atmospheres.
Is it difficult to get punters in all the time, or you have
not anymore? No, we've turned a huge corner.
Really, wow.
I just think that the perception of Bohs, and it's something that we've worked on quite hard. Perception of Bohs has changed massively. When you go in there tonight, you'll see there'll be quite a lot of tourists, there'll be quite a lot of girls, and the kind of demographic at Bohs games has shifted quite a lot in the last few years, and we haven't lost anyone. We've just added on a new group of people. Yeah.
I see you're linking up with other teams as well. Like you have the
FC United. We've good links with St. Pauli in Hamburg.
Really?
And we've that's something that we've really tried to press home.
So
and we've
be a sprinkling of German. And
you'll see it in here. There'll be Germans, French, Spanish. Yeah, they'll be drinking the Bohs craft ale. You know, there'll be hipsters everywhere.
Yeah, we've 3 bars, don't they? Between the 3 bars, is there like a?
So the one in the middle is the members bar. Generally older demographic, and they're mainly Bohs members. The bar on the far left is the Phoenix walking in. That's generally our singing section. There's a jukebox in there, lots of pictures of past gigs in Dalymount. The one on the far right isn't open to the public. That's our sponsors bar. It opens up after the game.
Will I see Johnny Logan tonight? Or?
You might look out for him. You'll see Bruce Shields. You'll see
yeah, we're saying that.
Who else will be here? James Kavanagh's coming tonight. I'm picking James up in a Jeep. You know, the James Kavanagh, the Snapchat kind of celebrity. You know, James. John Kavanagh's brother, McGregor's coach. James is coming tonight, and he's Snapchatting the whole night.
Okay, cool. Yeah. Hooligans in tonight.
Is there we? Yeah.
Cops just turned up.
I'm just after realising the name of the bar.
What is it?
Bang Bang. You were in the news recently.
Yeah. We got a gravestone made for Bang Bang.
On
RT News. Yeah.
I'm just after realising now.
Bang Bang?
Yeah. Bang Bang. It was a guy.
He used to shoot a key around Dublin.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was only recently. That's 2-3 weeks.
2 weeks ago, yeah.
2 weeks ago.
And a lot of what we do.
That.
I know you can't see this now obviously because we're speaking.
Put the picture up.
But the idea behind this, and it's something we've tried to say to other clubs, and it's happened more and more. So with this picture, obviously it's red and black.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's everything you wouldn't expect to see on a football poster. There's no crest.
Yeah.
There's no footballer.
So people have to question.
And there's a woman on it.
Yeah.
And that's done on purpose, because I think that very often the FAI and people trying to market the league, they miss the point. They put up a player in a jersey or in a kit. That only appeals to existing fans. When you see this, first of all, you're thinking, what's it about? But it kind of draws you in.
Questions.
And that's something that we've tried to kind of bring across all our kind of engagement with the public.
So what about Shamrock Rovers then?
In what way?
Like you get excited when they come this side of the city?
Both of us do. Like I've not, there's some good things gone on at Shamrock Rovers. I think they missed the point in trying to celebrate the fact that what they did as a club in terms of getting themselves aground and coming out from that period of absolute madness that they were in should be commended. As a club, I'd have nothing against them as a football club. When we play them, I want to beat them. Do I like them? No, I don't. But I do think for us, being able to stay in Dalymount is massive. Tall's a nice stadium. It does no soul to it. It's a sterile place. It's on the periphery of the city.
Very windy.
Yeah.
Jeez, right up the middle.
I don't like it. I met a guy here recently, and he was a Spanish fella, had come over, and he came to see us and Rovers in Dalymount. And he arrived on the Thursday, and he said he got a Dublin bike and cycled out to Tala Stadium to see it. And he said I had left the city.
So what about this place you have going on here then? Just it seems a pretty cool place. So what's?
Yeah, it's just it's what do we do? We do food and records and clothes and coffee and just.
Are you long open here?
Nearly 2 years.
Okay, yeah, it seems pretty busy.
Pretty busy. It's going well, yeah. So a lot of it's football stuff. Me and my sister did her rule at the start was no politics, no football. So it's full of both. I climbed up on top of that building and put Palestinian flag up there last week.
I'll have to take a picture of that before
we
overcome that. Well, that's pretty much it. Thanks very much. And what prediction for tonight?
I go 2-1 Bohs.
2-1. Who's going to score the last goal?
Dinny will score.
Dinny Cork.